In one of the world's first health resorts, the Dead Sea is receding at an alarming rate. Multiple canals and pipelines were proposed to reduce its recession, and though the dangers have been known for years, little has been done on the ground.
In the heart of the Middle East, tucked between ancient lands and eternal sky, lies a place that feels frown seen in time, a sea that doesn't move, a sea that doesn't breathe, a sea that's been called the saltiest, stillest, and most lifeless body of water on Earth. The Dead Sea. For years, we've watched it shrink. Scientists have warned us again and again. Its water is vanishing, its shoreline is retreating, its depths are slipping away, and though nations have met and blueprints have been drawn, the truth is, not much has changed. The world talks about saving it, but the sea continues to sink. Sinkholes have opened like gaping wounds in the earth. What was once a thriving shoreline is now cracked dust and silence. It's as if the ground itself has given up hope, but something strange is happening, something unexplainable. Where there was only dryness, now pools. Where there was only death, now life. And for those of us who've read the Word, for those who hold the Bible close, this isn't just a scientific phenomenon, this feels prophetic. If you're someone who believes that ancient scripture still speaks into the present, that we are living in a time where prophecy isn't just a concept but a reality, then take a second to subscribe, because what we're about to explore may just shift how you see the end times and the beginning of something miraculous. Let's go back to the land of Israel. The Dead Sea rests between Israel and Jordan, heavy with history and saturated in spiritual significance. Near its shores, the Dead Sea Scrolls were discovered, hidden in caves for centuries, waiting to be found. These scrolls contain the ancient words of prophets who saw visions long before our time. Just north of this sea, in the Jordan River, Jesus himself was baptized, marking the beginning of his ministry. But there's one particular prophecy that refuses to fade. A vision given by the prophet Ezekiel over 2,600 years ago. In this vision, Ezekiel sees something extraordinary. A river, flowing from the temple in Jerusalem, snaking through the desert, making its way toward the Dead Sea. And as it reaches those cursed waters, everything changes. The waters, once thick with salt and death, are healed. They become fresh, alive. Ezekiel 47:8 describes it clearly. For generations, most believed this was symbolic. After all, nothing survives in the Dead Sea. The salt content is too extreme for fish, plants, or even microorganisms. But now there are whispers, reports, videos, eyewitnesses. Tiny pools of fresh water are beginning to form around the sea's edge, specifically inside sinkholes that have opened up as the water table beneath collapses. And inside those pools, fish, living, swimming, unmistakable fish. How they got there, no one knows for sure, some scientists suggest. Freshwater springs may be flowing beneath the surface. Others believe underground channels may have connected isolated water sources. But however they arrived, the bigger question isn't how, it's why now. The Dead Sea is beginning to see life. And it's not just a coincidence, it's echoing prophecy. And Ezekiel wasn't the only one who spoke of such a day. The prophet Zechariah, in chapter 14:8, wrote of a time when living water would flow out from Jerusalem, half toward the eastern sea and half to the western sea. That imagery, it's not just about water, it's about awakening, restoration, a sign that what was dead can be revived, that what was cursed can be healed, that we're not just watching climate change or geological shifts, we're witnessing the fingerprints of something divine. These prophetic waters are more than molecules and minerals. They're a message that God is still moving, still fulfilling his promises, still showing us that he never left, and it gets deeper. Before it was a wasteland. The region around the Dead Sea was described in Genesis as like the garden of the Lord. Back when Abraham and Lot surveyed the land, it was green, vibrant, alive, but sin crept in. The cities of Sodom and Gomorrah, infamous for their wickedness, were consumed by divine judgment. Fire fell from the heavens, and in its aftermath, the lush valley became scorched and barren. And yet now, after millennia of lifelessness, water returns, life returns, fulfillment returns. You don't have to be a theologian to feel it. Even skeptics are starting to ask questions. Is this coincidence, or are we witnessing the early signs of something greater? For believers, this moment feels like a call to attention, a reminder that prophecy isn't front in time, it's unfolding, that the last days aren't just a distant event, they're rippling beneath our feet right now. Fish in the Dead Sea aren't just a curiosity. They're a confirmation that what Ezekiel saw wasn't poetry. It was preview. That what Zechariah described wasn't metaphor. It was a map, and the map is coming to life. We're standing in a time where headlines and holy texts are starting to intersect, where biblical archaeology, scientific discovery, and spiritual awakening are colliding. And it's not just about one sea, it's about the state of the world. From wars and rumors of wars, to the rise in knowledge, to the rebirth of Israel, to global unrest and moral confusion. Every headline feels like a chapter. Every news update feels like a verse. Jesus said to watch the signs. And if you're paying attention, the signs are everywhere. Maybe the Dead Sea miracle is just one piece, but it's a powerful one. Because when God brings life back to the lowest point on earth, He's reminding us that no place is beyond redemption, not even us. So, whether you believe in prophecy, or you're just curious about what's unfolding, keep watching, stay awake. Because the Bible isn't just a book of the past, it's a blueprint for what's coming next. The Dead Sea, silent, still, and lifeless. For centuries, it stood as a symbol of judgment, of ruin. But God, He's never been about leaving things broken. He restores, He revives, He heals. And now, something astonishing is stirring in the very place where death once reigned. Tiny fish swimming in the Dead Sea, sinkholes filled with life. And it's not just a geological oddity, it's a prophetic whisper. Because thousands of years ago, the prophet Ezekiel spoke of a moment like this. A time when waters would flow and bring life to even the most barren places. A time when the land and hearts would be healed. Ezekiel 36 speaks it plainly, and today it's happening. The people of Israel have returned, the nation has bloomed, and the hearts of many are slowly waking up to the truth. Jesus is the promised Messiah. Skeptics may laugh at Bible prophecy, but history doesn't lie. Ezekiel once predicted the fall of ancient Tyre, saying its stones would be thrown into the sea. At the time, it seemed absurd, but centuries later, Alexander the Great did exactly that, used the rubble to build a causeway. Today, fishermen still gather there, just like the prophecy said. So if that came true, why doubt the rest? In Ezekiel's final chapters, he describes a new Jerusalem where the presence of God dwells again among His people. The city is renamed. The Lord is there. Revelation echoes that same vision, a river of life, flowing from the throne of God, healing the nations. It's all connected, from the prophets of old to the apostles of the New Testament. One thread remains: God will restore what's broken. He will breathe life into what's dead. And Jesus, He will return. So what does a few fish in a sinkhole really mean? It means His word is alive, His promises are real, and His return is closer than we think. Romans 11:15 says it best. The Dead Sea may not yet be fully healed, but the signs are there, and each one whispers a greater truth. Jesus is coming soon. Are we ready? Turn off the noise, cut through the distractions. Now's the time to seek Him fully, deeply, without delay, because the world may shake, the land may crack, but God's plan never fails. The Dead Sea, once a graveyard, is now becoming a sign. Hope is rising, and the world is watching.